You know who I think gets such a bad rep in this game? And that's Vlad, man. I mean, I hear everybody on my comment sections or whether it's Twitter, Facebook, whatever social media handle I got. Somebody always have something grimy or low down to say about Vlad. And I would always be baffled. I'd be like, well, man, what did he say? And I go watch it, and they like, man, he the cops, he the feds. I'm like, how? I'm serious though. How? How do y'all feel that Vlad is the feds? It's like I really don't get it. He asked a question, and the person sitting there on camera give up all this information, and then it's used against him in a court of law. Am I mad at the person that asked the question? Huh? Now, granted, I get it that some of his questions are like, have you ever did any research on the person you're interviewing? you know, that some of his question is like that. It's like, so this is your first album. No, it's my fifth. Okay, it's your fifth album. Okay, now you be like, hey, dude, do you know who you're interviewing? Now, when you made that cut of Stars Born, never made a song called Stars Born. Oh, okay, that wasn't you. That was J. Cole and Jay-Z. I'm thinking of the wrong person here. What was the name of that last song you came out with? You mean my hit single? I mean, it's like that. But other than that, I don't really have a problem with Vlad. And people are mad at me because I don't. Maybe because we come from the neighborhood of kind of doing the same thing. I don't sit down and interview people all the time. I make videos too, so mine is a little different. But because I understand this game a little bit better now than I did years ago, I'm able to put things into perspective a little bit differently because I see things for what they are. I just don't post opinion because it's the popular opinion. I'm not gonna just ride with it because everybody else is piling on. So it's like, hey, log pile, let's go, dog pile. Everybody jumping on each other. No. So situations like this, Vlad gets so much heat of disrespect. It's because people out there in that world of social media, they want his spot. That's it. They want that spot. They need that spot. They need Vlad's positioning. That's what they want. They don't want his respect. They don't want him to do a classic interview. You know how many people bite Vlad? I've seen so many people bite Vlad. It's incredible. And then they won't get his man his just due, but they all copy from him. From the formats of the way people are sitting in the interview, um, the topics, the way they chop videos up. They got it all from Vlad. Then they don't give this man his just due. Now, some of his interviews I don't watch, but some of them are like iconic. Like you guys was mad he interviewed Tupac's accused. I was one of the most happiest persons in the world when that interview aired Because now, for the first time, you guys get to hear it from her mouth, see her face, and make your own opinion. And you can say, man, that bee is lying. I mean, that believe me, if Pac was here, he would have loved for you to hear that. He would have loved for you to hear her voice on a screen talking. You never got to hear nothing. She got to stay in the dark all these years. And like he said in the interview, my name is the one that's thrown. My picture is thrown on trial. I can't say her name, but my name is thrown all over the papers and my picture and put in that light. And now, and no one in Hollywood wants to work with me, you know, and they basically just destroying my career. So yeah, he would have loved to have seen her name in lights, have her come out and say those ridiculous statements and get looked at for what she was. Now you got context to believe even more now Pac was telling the truth. So for that alone, you guys should have championed Vlad. Now comes the next thing that everyone hit me up over, and I addressed it in a video. I went live and did it. Is what he said about Nas and his beats. Nas picked the worst beats, I think. And the Nas and Vlad beef and all this stuff. Listen, Rick Ross got sued because he broke his jaw and all this stuff. He hit Vlad because of an interview, that video Vlad did or whatever. And first off, let's talk about Nas. Nas is upset mainly because Vlad interviewed his baby moms. That was it. Then that became a situation that Nas did not want to revisit, didn't want in his circumference whatsoever. And now, his baby moms is on the screen doing an interview. Nas just didn't want that at all, ever. Like, nobody's interviewing Carmen. She's not doing any interviews, and now you got her out there to make Nas look crazy. So he's not happy about that, of course. Why would he be? And then you got the Khalees situation pop up, and he's not happy about it. Look, no artist is happy when something is going a way they don't like. You see what I'm saying? When a situation is going in a way that is unproductive to them, they don't like it. Now, Vlad did not do the Khalees interview. He got credit for an interview he never did. But this is what I'm talking about. Artists in general, they have a problem with people on the internet doing things, and this is where I relate. I try to be as tasteful as possible when making these things. I take the sense of responsibility and say, if I'm going to say this, I got to say it this way because I don't want them to look that crazy. Or I can't say it like this because it's going to lead to problems. Or if I say it this way, he might think I'm teaming up with the other guy to go against him. Now, anything else is just, uncivilized. But let's take a look at Nas, when he heard that Nas choose the worst beats. when they were talking about Eminem choosing the worst beats. And I told you people, I understood why he would feel that way. Because Nas don't pick the same type of beats to rap to. This is what kept him iconic. You see, you guys listen to Illmatic and think Illmatic is the greatest album of all times, and it probably will be. But if you ask Nas, it's probably not one of his favorite albums. And it's probably not one of his best. His best album is probably the last one he just made. You go back and listen to Illmatic now, Nas didn't really know anything. He's telling you stuff out of books, and his wordplay and his voice was sick. But all he's talking about is the neighborhood. That's it. Because that's all he knew. He was like 18 years old. All he was telling you is from the mind of an 18-year-old kid who read a lot of books. This is what I know. I know my area, my neighborhood. And I want, no matter if this album sell or whatever, they're going to say, I rep the hood. I rep the block. I put an album out. I did it. You know, that's what Illmatic was. It was a nod to Queensbridge, to Queens, to New York. Every song represent New York state of mind. Life's a itch and then you die. You know, every song. Memory Lane. Sitting in the park. You know, that type of song. All of these things was a nod to Queensbridge. Now, his other albums showed the growth. If you listen to Nas as he talks now and raps now, compared to then, this is a man who lived 25 extra years and have seen a whole lot of world. So his diction has changed. His education has changed dramatically. This dude is flying Emirates planes to different countries. There's more to rap about. There's more context. So your beats are going to change. And Nas was so smart to do that. You can't make the same type of people like, man, you should have stayed making beats with Primo. You should have stayed making beats with Large Professor. Man, we need a whole album with Nas and Primo. No, you don't. You don't. Because once you start doing that, that becomes your staple to where the producer, they can't hear you without them. Think of any artist that started off like that. Was Rakim ever dope and considered at a higher point than when he was with Eric B? The R, that album is cold. All his albums was dope. But nobody kind of gave him that, they kind of gave him that. Great lyricists and everything, but he never got that appeal. Why? Because he wasn't with Eric B. Nas changes his sound each album because it's growth. When he did Stillmatic, y'all thought he was going to make another one with Godson. No, he came in an entirely different theme, format, the whole nine. Streets Disciple, double CD. People didn't know where he was going on that album. That's like one of his most creative and bravest albums ever. And he will never get credit for it. That whole album, he went in a whole nother new direction. Because that was the wave then. Everybody was into creativity and being conscious. But when Nas did it, who is the conscious MC, y'all wasn't really feeling it. So yeah, I can understand if you said you don't like Nas beats. Because he wants to rap on something not 30, 40, 50 rappers are going to pick to jump on and try to remix. and loop it and put out their freestyles too. Well, the lyrics got to stand for something. So I understand if somebody say Nas picks the worst beats to rap to. It's not for everybody. Now, that's going to rub Nas the wrong way because he gets a lot of traffic. He gets a lot of hits. It is going to show up on the timelines, on the social media charts. So Nas, when he's working on an album, if it's on his mind, he going to talk about it. That's just how it is. Now, the thing with Ross and them, they actually put hands on Vlad. You know, a scumbag move. Now, this man ain't threatening you. This man was no bother to you. You knew you had no fear in this guy attacking you. Why in the world are you going to take that route? What would make you take that type of route to go out and assault this guy? You know, and Vlad ended up winning in court, as he should. That guy's lucky to still be in the business. You see, when situations are going against you in a certain way, you could be your own enemy. See, everything was going good for Ross then. He was rolling on top of the hip hop charts, rolling. Now he's a guy hanging on by a thread, and now they trying to see if it's worth it to even be pushing his albums because they worthless after about a week. And he was like, "Man, all these records you made, and can't none of them stick? What's wrong?" Man, I'm trying, man. I've done every radio show, done everything they asked of me. I done been on the track with 55 different people on my album, and it still ain't selling. I don't understand. I tell you why. You have no imagination, no creativity. And that's why you are where you're going in this business. Now, as for Vlad, how do you blame Vlad for this? How do you blame Vlad for anything somebody say on Vlad? People either can say, I don't want to talk about it, I ain't doing it, but all this Vlad set me up, Vlad had me jumped, Vlad had this and that. You made the choice to go on Vlad. I don't remember anybody holding a gun to nobody saying you better do Vlad right now, else. You chose to give up the info on Vlad. Somebody's like, if Vlad want to interview you, would you interview Vlad on Vlad? You know, it depends on how I feel that day. If I feel like I got nothing new to say, I mean, I don't see myself as a very interesting interview. You know, so from that standpoint, I'm like, I don't think I got anything new to say because I feel like once I do an interview with one person, no matter how big that person is, I've done that interview already. But that's not how it works. Normally, when you do an interview, it's just like when 50 was on Hot 97 and then he went to the Breakfast Club. You know, it's basically him rehashing the same thing he just said yesterday, the very next day, as if he's never had the interview at all. You know, he ain't gonna say, I just said this yesterday. That's not what you do. You gotta act as if this is all new to me. And here we go. But that comes with industry, you know, being in the industry and knowing this is the process. You might have to do 3 or 4 of those within a week of the same type of interview. You might get one question different here and there, but other than that, it's the same interview. So, but me, I'm not really in the industry. So all I do is just, I'm just me to the fullest. So that's just it. Um, to go back to the original point that we started on in the beginning, I don't know why y'all hate Vlad. Can y'all tell me in the YouTube premiere why y'all hate on Vlad so much? What is y'all reasoning for hating Vlad? I mean, all the guy do is provide you videos to watch. If you don't like it, you're hearing it from the artist. I can see if Vlad is on there giving his opinions and you are mad at his opinion. Vlad is not doing any of these things. All Vlad is doing, and I do mean all he's doing, is giving you their perspective. You're hearing it directly from the horse's mouth. So I'm sorry that I'm not mad at Vlad like the rest of you. And shouts out to Vlad. Keep pushing and doing your thing. Much success to you. I'm out. And don't forget, man, donate to your boys page. Hit the Cash App up. The name's Carcino on the Cash App. And in the Stream Lab below, you can leave me a bigger message in there. I'm finna check the Stream Lab today and see who donated and shout them out in the next live. Deuces.